Hi everyone, welcome back for another true crime episode. Before I begin today's video, I just want to apologise. I will endeavour to do my best on this video, but my dog is sick and he's here at my feet. He's always here at my feet, but he's a little more attention seeking than usual. And he paws me if he wants attention. So if you see me with my arm down or you see some funny movements during the video, apologies. It can't be helped. So with that, let's begin. On February 13th, 1997, Bernadette Breen was apprehensive. She had to have some tests done with her doctor, and tomorrow would be D-Day, the day she would go to get her results. She had it all organised. Her dad was going to collect her in the morning, drive her to her appointment, wait for her, let her go into her doctor and bring her home again. So now all she had to do was wait. Tide her time until tomorrow. She had a nice day. She and her only child, Ciara, would stroll down to the local Roma cafe on Park Street in Dundalk and grab a bite to eat. Then they would return home and pan out in front of the TV for a few hours. Around 12:30 a.m, Bernadette finally headed to bed. Ciara came in and was stretched across the bed, lying there chatting to her mother. They were really close. "Ma'am, are you worried about tomorrow?" Ciara asked. No, I'm not really," replied Bernadette. "Well, if you're not, then I'm not either," said Ciara. "I love you, Mum." "I love you too, sweet pea." Ciara went to her own bedroom and the lights went out in the Breen household. Little did Bernadette know, tomorrow morning would be the start of the worst day of her whole life, and it would not get better. Bernadette would be diagnosed with cancer, and she would need to report her only child, Ciara, as missing. This is the case of 17-year-old Ciara Breen. I'm Louise. Welcome back to A Drop in the Ocean, and let's dive in. Ciara Breen was 17 years old when she went missing. Ciara was raised by her mum. Her parents split up before Ciara was even born, with her father moving abroad. Ciara would never meet her father or even speak with him. She never knew him. Her mother, Bernadette, raised her by herself with the help of Bernadette's parents, Ciara's grandparents. So Ciara was raised in her grandparents' house in Dundalk until she was 15 years old, when she and her mother would move into their own place in Bachelor's Walk in Dundalk. Now this was perfect because it was just around the corner from Ciara's grandparents, but it was still a place of their own. Ciara grew up really shy. She was very trusting of people and she wasn't very streetwise. She was so self-conscious, particularly about her teeth, which she would hide behind her hand even when she would be speaking to her friends. Ciara's mother said that Ciara had a bit of a dental problem affecting her front teeth. So I don't know if maybe they were crooked or something, but something I did notice is it's very rare to find a photo of Ciara Breen where you can see her teeth. I only found one, in fact. She keeps her mouth closed for all photos, whether smiling or not. With all this, perhaps it left her a little vulnerable to the wrong kind of attention from the wrong kind of people. But she had a dental appointment scheduled where she was hoping to get her teeth fixed, so she was really looking forward to this. I can kind of understand where Ciara is coming from. As a teenager, I was extremely self-conscious also. Not because of my teeth, because of many reasons, but one main reason was because I had blonde hair, which meant I had blonde eyelashes. My eyelashes were invisible. It looked like I didn't have eyelashes or eyebrows. But I feel I can empathise with where Ciara was at this point in her life. But Ciara was very close with her mother Bernadette. They had the usual ups and downs teenage girls have with their mothers, even resulting in Ciara running away from home a few years previous, just for a few days, and she would come back then and they would sort everything out. Ciara had calmed down. She had settled after this. She was very interested in makeup, particularly eye makeup, and she was good at it. She had a flair for it. So it looked like this was the career path Ciara was going to take. She had enrolled in a programme in a local education centre in Dundalk, so she had gotten herself together and she was looking forward to her future. There was a person showing Ciara attention recently, a male, which Ciara was responding to. Her friends knew about this, as this male had been trying to get into their circle, always trying to talk to them and always hanging around them. They had heard Ciara speaking with him on a few occasions, including a few days before she would go missing. They had heard him ask Ciara, could he see her later? And Ciara responded that she would sneak out later when her mother went to bed. So what Ciara would do when she would sneak out is she would open her bedroom window from the inside and leave it slightly ajar, just slightly open, so that she could regain entry upon return without making any noise. She would just hop back in her window. And this is what Ciara did on this night, on February 12th. After Ciara had been in on her mother's bed and then gone to her own room, Bernadette had gotten up to use the bathroom around 2 a.m. She had looked into Ciara's room and had seen Ciara wasn't there. Now Bernadette, she didn't panic, as Ciara had done this before, more than once, and no harm had ever come to her. She would be back in her bed by the morning and everything would be fine. So Bernadette went back to bed, even if she didn't sleep too much. The following morning, February 13th, was the day of Bernadette's appointment to go get her test results. Her father came, picked her up as arranged, and drove her to her appointment. Bernadette, just wanting to get the appointment out of the way and not wanting to worry her father, never mentioned on the journey to the doctors that Ciara had not been in her bed that morning, that she had not returned. Bernadette attended her appointment, where she would learn that she had cancer. The doctor would later say he found it very strange. Bernadette didn't react to this news. She just didn't react. But the doctor didn't know that Bernadette was more worried about the fact that Ciara was not where she was supposed to be. While Bernadette's father was driving her home from her appointment, she told him, Ciara's grandfather, that Ciara had not come home this morning, that she had crept out during the night and she had not returned. They got back to Bernadette's house hoping with all their hearts that Ciara would be home, that she would be all apologies, offering them lots of reasons why she hadn't gotten to reach home until this time, and everyone could breathe. And then deal with the bad news that Bernadette had received at the doctor's. But that wasn't to be the case. There was still no sign of Ciara. They would need to contact law enforcement and report Ciara as missing. Following Ciara's disappearance, it was noted that Ciara didn't take anything with her. No money, clothes, nothing. And her credit union account book was also still in the bedroom, which would have been her access to money. The night she snuck out, she was wearing a black leather jacket, blue jeans, a wine-coloured sweatshirt and a white t-shirt, with the lifeguards surrounding a girl with Ciara's own face superimposed on it. She was also wearing a Mickey Mouse watch, a Disney watch. This watch was bought for her in Florida and had a square face showing Mickey Mouse catching a ball. It was a limited edition watch, so very distinctive. It was only now that the police were involved in questioning people that all the pieces of this puzzle started to fall together for Josephine, Ciara's mum. This didn't help. This made everything much worse. Because this person who had been showing Ciara attention, who had been trying to talk with her and trying to get in with her friends, Ciara's friends told law enforcement that this was the person that Ciara had crept out of her house to meet this night. And Josephine knew this person. This man's name was Liam Mullen. He was 35 years old at the time. Josephine had had to remove this man from her front garden as he had been talking to Ciara, with Josephine overhearing him asking Ciara, "Are you going out with anyone?" Ciara was 16 at the time. Josephine didn't hesitate in telling him where to go to get lost, that he was far too old for Ciara. This man, Liam Mullen, was the man hanging around Ciara's friends, inappropriately trying to chat them up, trying to get friendly with them and trying to gain access to their circle. What this did gain him was a nickname in Dundalk with the teenagers. They called him the Creep. Unfortunately, he would be successful in gaining Ciara's trust and attention. This 35-year-old man, also from Bachelor's Walk, the same street Ciara lived on, was allegedly the man Ciara crept out of her house on this night to meet. Ciara Breen, aged 17, would never be seen again. In 1999, 2 years following Ciara's disappearance, Liam Mullen would be arrested and questioned regarding Ciara's disappearance. But he would admit to nothing, and again, with no body and no hard evidence, he would be released without charge. However, Liam Mullen would admit to the murder of Ciara Breen on a few different occasions, but only after consuming copious amounts of alcohol, when he was drunk. Then, when he would sober up, he would again deny having anything to do with it. The website Ireland'sVanishingTriangle.com says that the Gardaí investigation found that a local group of paedophiles had been operating at the time of Ciara's disappearance in Dundalk. Now, I can't find anything more on this other than the usual denials that such a thing exists anywhere. However, it was believed this predatory ring had no ties to Ciara Breen. And then Liam Mullen, when in his 50s, would be arrested a second time and questioned again regarding Ciara Breen's disappearance in 2015, when the police received 2 anonymous letters providing new information regarding Ciara Breen's disappearance. These letters would result in a search being carried out in the local bog called Bomber's Bog by the police and the military for Ciara's body. Unfortunately, due to financial constraints, this search would only cover 2 acres of this bog, which was in total 16 acres. And over the years, tons had been added to the bog, making it more difficult to search for anything. No body nor any trace of Ciara Breen would be found. But this time, in 2015, the police believed they had enough anyway to get Liam Mullen. So along with these 2 anonymous letters, 2 people had also come forward the previous year with historical sightings of Ciara that night. So there was a file prepared and sent to the DPP, the Department of Public Prosecutions. But the DPP's response was that they still didn't have enough evidence to prosecute Liam Mullen. They basically would need either a confession or a body. Liam Mullen would again be arrested in 2017, but on unrelated charges, a DUI charge. Liam Mullen would die while in custody. Allegedly, he was found unresponsive in his cell. The doctor was called and tried to resuscitate him, but attempts were unsuccessful. The coroner's report later showed he had died of an overdose. So it is believed Liam Mullen swallowed a bag of an illegal substance before his arrest, which resulted in his death while in custody. So was this man Liam Mullen the local creep who would admit to some horrendous crime when he drank some courage? Or was he just the local idiot who said stupid things when he was drunk? Well, we don't know. But we know he was hanging around teenage girls, trying to wean his way in. We know Ciara's mother had to chase him from the garden. And we know Ciara's friends said Ciara had agreed to meet Liam Mullen this night. In 2017, remains were found close to Bernadette and Ciara's house, which everyone hoped would be Ciara, that Ciara would finally be brought home. But the state pathologist determined that the remains were historical. Bernadette, Ciara's mother, was devastated with the death of Liam Mullen, as she firmly believed he was the person who could have told her where to find Ciara. Bernadette Breen would pass away on Thursday, 28th June 2018 at Our Lady of Lourdes Hospital, Drogheda, without ever finding her daughter. She had tirelessly searched for answers for 21 years following the worst day of her life. Bernadette, along with law enforcement, firmly believe Ciara was murdered and her body was buried in Bomber's Bog. There's not a lot of activity surrounding Ciara Breen's case these days. It rarely makes it into the media. Ciara was an only child to a single parent who has now sadly passed away, so I really hope we can keep Ciara's case current. Her body is still out there somewhere, believed to be lying in Bomber's Bog. Ciara needs to be brought home and buried with her mother. As you can see, Ciara Breen is listed as part of Ireland's Vanishing Triangle, but again it appears the perpetrator was once again known to the victim. In fact, there doesn't appear to be any link in any way between Ciara Breen's case and the other cases included in this triangle. There's nothing pointing to a serial killer in this case. Thank you for listening to Ciara Breen's case. Take care of yourselves and each other. Good luck and bye bye.